It finally happened. It finally freaking happened. Grounded 2 just got announced. So a couple days ago, over at the Xbox Games Showcase for 2025, we finally got a pretty big deep dive into the world of Grounded 2, what it's going to be like, what we can expect, and a freaking release date of July 29th. Literally in a month and a half's time. Oh, I can't even, man. If you were having a shitty day yesterday, it just got like 100 times better with this news. Absolutely insane. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to stop talking in a minute, and you guys are going to watch the 13.5 minute long director's full cut deep dive thingamajiggy video. Now, if you've already watched it, that's a-okay. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine too. If you want to just hear my talking points, all that kind of stuff, skip past 13 minutes, and yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back waffling. But dude, I have so many key points to talk about. I'm staring at just a freaking bunch of key points that I wrote down in this notebook. Like there's like 20 different talking points. This game looks freaking insane, and I can't wait to talk about it, guys. So I'm gonna stop waffling. You guys enjoy the video. If not, I'll see you in 13.5 minutes, and yeah, we can do some talking.
We're so proud of Grounded. What started as a small passion project to make a quirky game where you're shrunk down to the size of an ant, trying to survive in a backyard, grew into something way bigger than we ever imagined. Over 25 million of you jumped in, explored, built, crafted, and fought off giant bugs together. Y'all helped make the entire experience very special to us. The team's been cooking up a ton for Grounded 2, and we're so excited to talk about it. And to grease some palms to steal a bit of time from the direct to give you a deeper look. There were so many possibilities and ideas that didn't make it into the first game, so with the sequel, we have the chance to dream bigger. To achieve those dreams, we partnered with the amazing folks at Eidos Montreal. Together, we're taking Grounded from the backyard to an even larger world, the Brook Hollow Community Park.
When we started working on Grounded 2, we knew that we wanted to make a bigger world. Fortunately for us, Eidos Montreal became our main partner on developing Grounded 2. They have a lot of similarities to the sorts of things that are important to us at Obsidian. They tend to make very narratively strong games. They make games with really deep characters and great character progression. They make games with great gameplay.
Everyone at Eidos Montreal is thrilled and honored to be working with Obsidian Entertainment. Our two studios share a lot of DNA. The same things that are important to Obsidian Entertainment are important to us. Choice and consequences, player communities, and doing justice to great IPs and great franchises. The fact that we're the first partners that they're working with to make a sequel to their franchise feels like we're an important part of their history.
The events of Grounded 2 take place 2 years after the first game. The same 4 teenagers are returning.
So there's Max, Hoops, Willow,
And Pete.
They're a couple years older, which means they've gone through a bit more high school, a bit more mature. It's 1992. The world's a little bit different. But we're still in that fun, nostalgic era of the early 1990s. In Grounded 2, we're moving the action out of the backyard and into the Brook Hollow Community Park. Not only is it bigger, it allows us to tell a lot more stories and expand the world of Grounded by exploring what the community of Brook Hollow has been up to and what they've been through.
The park overall is about 3 times the size of the backyard, and our initial starting area is actually the same size as the entire backyard from the first Grounded. The reason we wanted to move into a park wasn't just to create a bigger world, but was to give us the opportunity to explore the community of Brook Hollow and what secrets have they been hiding.
What we love and what we're excited about in terms of the park is the opportunity to create environments and landmarks that are mundane at normal size, but are colossal wonders when you're the size of an ant. Everything from a giant trash can to a community picnic table or a snack bar. all of these areas come to life in a brand new way.
Part of the fun in Grounded 2 is that the park was evacuated really quickly right before our teens were shrunk. And that means that the park has been sort of turned upside down and is in a topsy-turvy state. And that leads to really fun environmental storytelling, but it also leads into the creation of amazing biomes for our characters to explore. One of my favorite examples of this is the ice cream cart. In all of the commotion, the ice cream vendor's cart has been knocked over and its contents have spilled out into the ground. And what this means for our young adventurers is that they'll be able to explore this frozen cave of interesting challenges and colorful Lovecraftian horror.
We have one anthill that's actually somebody decided to bury a bunch of toxic stuff in the park. And so there's all these toxic chemicals under the ground. The environment looks very cool and very spooky with all of these sort of chemical pools. And of course, nothing can live down there except for one type of insect, the cockroach. We are oftentimes reinventing environments, and in future updates, you're gonna see a ton of new stuff. You do a lot of fighting against insects of all shapes and sizes. We didn't just want it to look better, we also knew we wanted to add a new layer of strategy. The changes that we've made aren't limited to tuning animations or adjusting attack or defense numbers or making characters or insects move faster or slower. But we did all that too, but there's also an entire sort of rock, paper, scissors strategy involving light attacks, heavy attacks, and blocking. We've also added dashing as a new way to both get out of danger quickly or jump in for a quick attack. And almost all the insects in the game will have these abilities now too. Sort of like a chess match, but one that's super frenetic, looks super cool, and is ultimately just a ton of fun. We're leaning into clear play styles for tanky warriors, low defense, high damage rogues, effect-wielding mages, and ranged hunters. In the first Grounded, we have mutations, and there were weapons and armors that favored different playstyles. In Grounded 2, not only will there be passive mutations, but there will also be active mutations. And a lot of those mutations support these archetypes.
My favorite way to play pretty much any game is chasing after those game-breaking builds. And that's why I'm so excited for what we're doing with archetypes in Grounded 2. I'm all in on the rogue. Now, you can even dual-wield daggers. I've been dialing in this glass cannon build that stacks ambush, assassin, and cardiofan mutations with the wolfbane daggers and the wolf spider armor. It lets me open up combat with massive backstab damage that also inflicts venom. Then, I can use the extra stamina to reposition and try to dodge, rinse, and repeat. It's high risk, high reward, and absolute chaos in all the best way. I'm looking forward to seeing what wild combos the community comes up with and what they inevitably break once they get their hands on the archetype system. It's going to be awesome watching it evolve with player feedback and watching us try to keep up with all of your game-breaking builds.
One of the great things about Grounded is the variety of players it attracts, from builders to crafters and everything in between. If you've ever watched me on Casually Grounded livestream, you'd know that I'm neither. I am a murderer of insects. Personally, I prefer the term harvester. I love going out, hitting things, and bringing the materials like insect body parts back to my friends to use. This way, we keep progressing and playing together.
We're also trying to make sure that armor and equipment are easily understood by the player, especially when they're playing co-op with their friends. It was really, really important for us to deliver on all of that for the bigger space and experience, because that was the only way we could truly support the feature the community has been asking for since the very first Grounded release. Mounts. Our mounts, we call them buggies, have an entire suite of moves and have their own special abilities and attacks.
We really wanted the buggies to be an extension of the player in every way possible. And that meant making sure that buggies had unique and valuable abilities across all the core pillars of Grounded. So that doesn't just mean exploration and travel. That has gameplay implications for combat, crafting, and building as well. Just like how we wanted to expand on player playstyles throughout the game, we're going to make sure that every buggy that we add has its own personality.
The Red Ant Soldier can enlist up to 2 Red Ant workers to follow you around and help you out. If you get into combat and you don't want to fight while you're saddled on your buggy, you can jump off and they'll fight right alongside you and provide support. The Orb Weaver buggies are a little less useful when it comes to general utility, like building a base or harvesting, but they're awesome when it comes to combat. Sure, their defenses aren't super strong, but they're heavy hitters. They're also super fast, and they have some great special abilities, like a scream that allows them to stun lesser-powered insects, and the ability to shoot webs and entangle other creatures. So the Orb Weavers won't be your base-building buggy. You should use the Red Ant Soldier for that. But they're super fun for exploration and combat. Red Ant Soldiers and Orb Weaver Spiders will be available at game preview launch. There will be others in the future, but those are the 2 we're starting with. The connection that our Grounded community has with us is something we want to keep forging with the sequel as we make an even bigger game than the original.
Pretty much from day one, we knew we wanted to return to game preview for Grounded 2. Sure, it comes with some trade-offs, like the game's not done and it's out to the world, but there's so much value in building it alongside the community. Buggies change how you traverse and navigate the park. What we're doing with Grounded 2 is we're actually keeping zip lines held back so we can see how players engage with buggies, and then we can tweak zip lines to bring them back over time to really complement that buggy experience and make exploring the park far more fun. That kind of feedback loop helped shape the original Grounded, and we wanted to shape the design for Brook Hollow Park, archetypes, buggies, all of it. We also learned a lot from that first time around. One thing that stood out immediately, players blaze through our content, especially the story. That makes sense. Story, characters, world building, that's kind of Obsidian's thing. It's the flavor we bring to the survival genre. So this time, we're starting with a much bigger baseline.
There's been an explosion at Brook Hollow Park. Chaos descended on a ceremony commemorating the 2-year anniversary of when 4 teenagers were miniaturized against their will.
One of our favorite parts of the first game was watching the community uncover clues and spin up theories. This time around, we're leaning even more into that, and we'll be keeping a close eye on what our players discover and how they interpret it. Because you never know what might inspire us as development moves forward.
We really started to hit our groove at the end of Grounded 1. We found that being open about what we were planning and then following through was key to building trust with the community. As a small team, we had to experiment with update pacing and scope, and what we found resonated the most with all of you were bigger, beefier updates, even if it took us a little longer to land. So that's the plan. Larger, more complete updates spaced out just enough so we can take your feedback seriously and make every drop count. You can expect in our big updates, new buggies, new biomes, new building pieces, all the good stuff. And we're launching with a public roadmap so everyone knows what to be excited about in the future.
All of us at Obsidian Entertainment and IDOS Montreal are super excited about how close we are to letting all of you players get shrunk a second time and explore the all-new park on buggies in Grounded 2. If you're a returning Grounded player, we're really looking forward to you experiencing all the improvements. If this is your first time getting Tiny, then all I can tell you is that a world with an entirely new perspective and an entirely new feel awaits you in Brook Hollow Park. It's time to ride together and survive together.
What a freaking showcase. I don't care about all the other releases, even though there's some really good ones for this year. I really don't care, man. Grounded 2, it's one of the, it's honestly, for me personally, I would say it's one of the best survival games of all time. Screw any others. It's quirky, it's unique. There's just so much in depth to it. If you guys didn't know, we are currently going through Grounded 1, or the first Grounded game, over on our second channel, Kiroi After Hours. So if you want to go watch our playthrough, we just got into New Game Plus 2. We're finally getting like the teleporter potties and all this kind of crap. But anyways, enough's enough. So there's a few things I want to talk about. So we have we have obviously the video up in front of us. Holy shit. I'm not sure if we're gonna, I don't even know how we're gonna do this. I'll probably just stick some gameplay in the background of Grounded, and then I'll put up a little snippet of the video where I want it to show what I want to show it. But alright, so there is a lot to jump into. Where to start, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so Grounded 2 is set 2 years after the events of Grounded 1. So it still follows the same characters, and I absolutely love the fact that it does that. Instead of introducing new characters, all that kind of crap, and trying to build that relationship up with the new characters, we already have that relationship with the 4 characters that we've had for the past, for like, what, 4 or 5 years now in Grounded 1. So yeah, all the same characters from the first game, and now in the second one, it's set 2 years after, so they're a little bit older. I think they've had like a few years of high school from what they were saying, so they're a little bit more mature. However, that really doesn't play into it, but they do mention it in the deep dive. So 2 years after the events of Grounded 1, and it's set in the Brook Hollow Community Park. So Brook Hollow must be the area. So the Brook Hollow Community Park, this is where the gameplay is set. Now, it is 3 times bigger than the original Grounded map as of July 29th, without any DLCs, without any extensions, blah, 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 blah. 3 times larger. I can't even boggle that. Grounded itself was huge. Like, it was big enough to start with, but now you add like 3 times the size of the backyard. Whew. God damn, this makes me excited. As a content creator, this is kind of like a miner striking gold. You know what I mean? Oh man, this is gonna be great. Okay, so 2 years after Grounded 1, the events take place in Brook Hollow Community Park with a map size 3 times larger. Now, as of right now, we don't get much of the story. Ominent, so the big evil corporation that shrunk the kids in the first place, I'm pretty sure Ominent is back. It does show quite a lot of unique Ominent labs and research facilities within the park in that deep dive, so that is awesome. So again, your favorite enemy is back, because what's the point in making new big bad guys when you can literally just create different stories from the main bad guy from the first game? Literally, smart, genius. You know what I mean? Why waste time and effort trying to be creative and think of new stuff when you can literally just use the old one that we love? So again, huge awesome fact for that. So Ominent is back. Now, like I was saying, sorry guys, I'm really excited. I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to get half of these points across to you guys right now, because I'm super excited. But as of right now, the story, we don't know a whole lot. So we know that Ominent's back, but the only main plot point we get is towards the start of the game. And basically what happens is all the 4 characters, including Dr. Tully, are at this Brook Hollow Community Park for some ceremony. And essentially what happens is there's a big explosion. Now, after that said big explosion, the 4 characters, including Dr. Tully, are now missing once again. Obviously, some kind of ominous explosion, and they've now been shrunk again, which is pretty darn cool. So I'm definitely curious to see where they go down this, because apparently they're really emphasizing the story. They were saying that a lot of the community feedback, which I agree with, were saying that the story was a little bit short. And I kind of agree. Like, I mean, you know yourself, you've watched the speedrunners, man. They can literally speedrun this in like 2 seconds flat. So apparently the story is going to be obviously a lot more deeper, a lot longer. So I'm super happy with that. So that's awesome. Now, what else do we want to talk about? So, new bugs. Okay, now I didn't really go through and like really pick apart like frame by frame like most people do but new bugs. So we have some of the similar bugs we have from the original ones. We still have your stink bugs. You still have your wolf spider, your orb weaver spider, your red ants. There's a moth. You can literally see the moth from the title screen. And that's about all, I think, of the old ones that we see in the video. Oh, sorry. Ladybugs, of course. But yeah, I think that's it for all the new ones that all the old ones we saw from the gameplay. Again, there could be more, and again, I'm sorry, I didn't freaking, pause play to see every single frame. I was too excited. I just needed to get this video done. Now, as for new bugs, this is where it gets freaking awesome. So we've seen a caterpillar. I'm not sure if it's passive. It looks kind of passive, but it also kind of looks dangerous. But you've seen caterpillars in real life, man. Those things are kind of crazy. Some of them, I don't know if you guys are in Oz, but some of these fuckers, spit acid from trees. It's not acid, but it is kind of slightly corrosive. But you guys know what I mean. So caterpillars are new. There's now praying mantises. So it's not a boss. They are smaller, a lot smaller, so it's not a mantis-sized boss. But if you guys played past New Game Plus 4, it's the size of the praying mantises that usually spawn in after that. Oh, sorry, while you're doing that boss fight. So praying mantises, caterpillar, cockroaches are a new one, which is pretty cool. I'd like to see how tough they are, because let's be real, in real life you can freaking stomp on a cockroach and those bastards will still just get up fine and dandy. And then the main one that I saw, and I think it caught everyone's eye, is the new Scorpion. Now, this thing looks scarier than the freaking spiders did from the first game when you first started playing. I don't know what's terrifying. It's freaking giant maw of a mouth. It's giant stinger on its back that can just freaking, go straight through you at any point because it's quick as hell. Or the giant freaking crab-like pincers on either side. Bruh, it looks terrifying. Not to mention glowing purple eyes. Freaking terrifying. It looks infected, kind of. And it has some weird shit on top of its head. I wonder if infection's back. I guess we'll have to find out. Now, on top of all of this stuff. Now, sorry guys, I'm just trying to read through my notes real quick. We're back talking about the map, because they were talking about how after the explosion in this community park, everyone kind of left in a hurry, which means the park's in kind of a state of disarray. And due to that, a snow cone or a snow ice cream truck stand has fallen over. All the ice creams everywhere, which means we get access to a new biome. So we do actually get access to a snowy frozen biome, which is meant to be freaking awesome. It looks epic. And I'm kind of liking the idea of specific biomes within Grounded, because we kind of had specific biomes, but not really. You go through the upper yard to the left-hand side towards the overturned barbecue area, and then you have to have, you'll start to get burnt because the Everchar charcoal chunks. But this is on another scale. It's a full-on literal frozen wonderland, and it looks absolutely insane, and I can't wait to check that out. So that's pretty cool. So we got a new snow biome. Now, on top of all this, oh bro, there's still so much to talk about. This one's pretty epic, guys. So at the start of launch on the 29th of July, July 29th, whatever you want to call it, you will get access to 2 bug mounts, which is the Soldier Ant bug mount and the Orb Weaver Spider bug mount. Now, this is freaking insane. Now, if you actually took the time to watch the video, you'll notice that they state that there's going to be no zip lines at launch. I'm pretty sure he doesn't say specifically no zip lines, but he doesn't say there is going to be zip lines, which is a little bit of a worry, because if the map's 3 times larger and you only have your bug mounts or your legs as traversal, that's going to be one hell of a run back to base. Because you guys know yourself, even if you slap your main base, all we have to go off is Grounded. If you slap your base in the middle of the map, which is roughly, I would say, the pond, if you have your base in the pond and then you try to run everywhere instead of using zip lines, it took you freaking forever. So I'm hoping there's still some zipline utility, but they're trying to make you focus on the mounts for now. I don't know, but yeah, it's a little bit of a worry because I mean, look, there's places that your mounts surely can't go, right? So like what, you're going to have to, I don't know. I love the idea of the mounts, and the gameplay that we see, the footage that we see from the mounts looks absolutely incredible. They're not even just like mounts. You can actually use them to attack. So the Old Weaver Spider is literally an offensive mount, so you can actually use its attacks. It has a screech that stuns enemies. It shoots the defensive spider web, so it like tangles them up, and it also has a powerful attack. Lower defensive but powerful attack. I'm keen for that. While as the ant soldier is obviously your builder, and it can also summon 2 other worker ants. So if you do get attacked, they can all help out in defending, well, you, I guess. But yeah, so not sure about the no ziplines thing, or the lack of full zipline support, or whatever he says. It's something really strange. It's not like he's saying there's no ziplines, but he's not stating there are ziplines. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but we will have to see. By the way, as well, if you guys have any comments, queries, questions, concerns, anything like that, just let me know down below in the video description. Sorry, not description, the comments, because I am keen to get your guys' opinions on all of this. Now, on top of diving deeper into the story, they've also doubled down on your character builds, mutations, all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure they're really trying to focus down on character builds. So there's a tank warrior, so he can just tank damage. So he's obviously he'll be wearing like thick armor, so thick heavy armor tanks damage. Then there's a mage, so again like staves and stuff like that, so you can do elemental damage with your wand staff, whatever you want to call it, mage stuff. You have a range, obviously ranged abilities, so you'll have your like crossbow, you'll have your bow and arrows back, all that kind of stuff, etc. And then your low defense, high damage build. So that's basically light armor with something like daggers. Now, while we're on the subject of daggers, I think they were a little bit biased with their daggers. No, I'm just kidding. But daggers, you can now dual wield daggers, and there is a heavy focus on a dagger style gameplay. We see one of the developers talk about his dagger style gameplay and how it's built around, like, and what it's built around, and it's freaking insane. Wolf spider armor with dual wield daggers, and this motherfucker is like creeping up behind enemies because some kind of mutation build that he's got going on is he's stealthy, and he has like double damage from attacking from behind. So he like creeps up on enemies and like just one taps them from behind with his dual wield dagger strike. Like, it is freaking insane. Like, it is nuts. Now, I was never a fan of the daggers in Grounded 1. I barely used them. I only used them for when I had to use them, like if there was nothing else. But that kind of stealth gameplay, and you guys know me, Kilroy Plays is not a freaking stealth player, but that gameplay right there got me excited, bro. Just there's a wolf spider just sitting there, and you just creep up behind him with your daggers, and then pow, one tap, dead. Like, bro, yeah, you character builders are gonna have an absolute field day, trust me. Now, I think the last thing we have to talk about, at least that from my key points, my little notebook, my little notepad, I wrote down there is a new dashing movement mechanic as well, which is pretty cool. So obviously, if you miss your attack or whatever, you miss your block, you can literally just quickly dash away. It's quite a large dash too. It looks like you dash like, you know, a few meters away from the enemy. However, this is where it gets interesting, is the fact that they not only gave your characters the ability to dash, but apparently they said that enemies now have the ability to dash as well. And that's kind of fucking terrifying if you ask me. Like, you're just fighting like a giant ass like scorpion, and you're about to strike it, and it just like scoots on, dashes back like a few meters, and then like comes forward and then strikes you with that bloody stinger tail thing. Bruh, I don't know, but absolutely epic, absolutely epic. Sorry guys, like I said, I'm rambling, but I'm just so genuinely excited for this game. It's been a terrible year for gaming. terrible year. There was just nothing to fucking play other than crappy like online like bloody Warzone and fucking Fortnite and all this kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden we're just getting release after release after release of all these freaking banging games, and I'm just so excited. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop. Enough rambling from Kuroi. You've all had enough of me for one day. Let me know your questions, concerns, theories, all that kind of stuff, what you want to see in the future. And again, they are doubling down on community-driven stuff. So if you have an idea, if you have some questions, concerns, anything like that, literally let them know on their Grounded 2 channels, whether that be in Discord or whatever, because they are actually taking it seriously for future updates. So yeah, obviously your thoughts are our thoughts, the community thoughts actually matter to them, and they're listening. So yeah, get in there, guys. Tell them your thoughts, tell them your feelings, tell them what you want to see from Grounded 2 in future updates. And yeah, but anyways, enough from me. I will see you all in the next video, guys. Look out for more Grounded 2 content on this channel. I will be covering it very, very closely. I'm so keen, and I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Peace.